In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate, let me ask you something deep. Why does everything suddenly feel so heavy in your life? Why do things feel harder, slower, more confusing than before? What if I told you this heaviness is not meant to break you, it is preparing you for something greater? Many people give up at this exact stage. They walk away, they lose hope, they disconnect from Allah. But what if this moment is actually your turning point? Allah reminds us that after hardship comes ease and that every test carries wisdom. Sometimes, before Allah elevates you, He reshapes you. This process can feel uncomfortable, even painful, but it is full of purpose. If you misunderstand this phase, you may lose hope. But if you understand it, you gain strength, patience, and closeness to Allah. One of the most confusing feelings a person can experience is sudden heaviness in life. Things that once felt easy start to feel difficult, clarity turns into uncertainty, and even simple decisions begin to feel overwhelming. In these moments, it is natural to think something is going wrong, that perhaps you have taken a wrong path, or that things are falling apart. This mindset can quickly lead to anxiety, overthinking, and even a sense of hopelessness. But as a believer, you are invited to look deeper and understand that not every hardship is a sign of failure. Sometimes it is a sign of movement. Allah, in His perfect wisdom, does not allow anything to happen without purpose. That heaviness you feel may not be there to stop you, but to slow you down, to make you reflect, and to redirect your heart towards something better. When life becomes heavy, it often means something within you or around you is being reshaped. Old habits may be challenged, certain attachments may feel uncomfortable, and your priorities may begin to shift. This process is not easy, but it is meaningful. Instead of immediately assuming the worst, train your heart to respond differently. When you feel that way, pause and turn to Allah with sincerity. Speak to Him, even in your own words, and ask for clarity and guidance. This simple act changes your perspective from fear to trust. You begin to see that you are not alone in your struggle and that there is wisdom behind what you are experiencing. With time, you will start to notice that this heaviness carries lessons, growth, and even hidden mercy. It is not random and it is not pointless. It is part of a journey that is slowly shaping you into someone stronger, more aware, and more connected to Allah than before. One of the biggest misconceptions we carry is that growth should feel comfortable. We expect change to come with ease, clarity, and immediate results. So when life becomes difficult, when emotions feel heavy, or when progress seems slow, we begin to think something is wrong. We question ourselves, we doubt our direction, and sometimes we even feel like we are failing. But the reality is very different. True growth, the kind that transforms your character and strengthens your faith, rarely feels easy in the moment. Think about it carefully. Every form of real development requires effort and discomfort. Whether it is learning something new, breaking a bad habit, or becoming more disciplined, there is always a phase where things feel unfamiliar and challenging. Spiritually, it is no different. When Allah is preparing you for a better version of yourself, He allows you to go through experiences that stretch you beyond your comfort zone. This stretching can feel like pressure, but it is actually part of your expansion. When you begin to understand this, your mindset shifts. Instead of running away from discomfort, you start to see it as a sign that something meaningful is happening. That difficulty you are facing may be teaching you patience. That delay may be teaching you trust. That confusion may be pushing you to seek guidance from Allah more sincerely. These are not signs of failure, they are signs of growth in progress. Remind yourself often that you are not meant to stay the same. Each challenge you face is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more connected to your purpose. The discomfort you feel today is not permanent, but the strength you gain from it can stay with you for a lifetime, helping you navigate future challenges with greater faith and resilience. One of the most painful experiences in life is losing something or someone you deeply valued. It can leave you feeling empty, confused, and questioning why it had to happen. You may replay moments in your mind, wondering what you could have done differently or why things didn't work out the way you hoped. This attachment to what was lost can make it even harder to move forward because your heart is still holding on to something that Allah, in His wisdom, has already removed from your path. What makes it even more difficult is that we often see loss only from our limited perspective. We focus on what we can see and feel in the moment, but we do not see the full picture that Allah sees. Sometimes what leaves your life is not meant to harm you, but to protect you. It may have been something that would have brought you long-term pain, distraction, or distance from Allah. In other cases, Allah removes something simply to make space for something better, something that aligns more closely with your growth and your purpose. When you begin to trust this process, your pain starts to shift into understanding. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" you begin to ask, "What is Allah preparing me for?" This question opens your heart to hope instead of regret. It allows you to release what is no longer meant for you and to accept that Allah's plan is always more complete than your own. Letting go is not easy, but it becomes possible when you remind yourself that nothing taken from you escapes Allah's knowledge or wisdom. Every loss carries a hidden meaning, even if it takes time to uncover. And when you trust that what is coming is better than what has gone, you begin to move forward with a heart that is lighter, stronger, and more at peace. One of the most common reactions to hardship is distance from Allah. When life feels heavy, when DU, letter 2BF, Imakran, letter 2BE, seems unanswered, or when tests keep coming one after another, a person may slowly pull back. Salah becomes delayed, dhikr becomes less frequent, and the heart begins to feel disconnected. It is not always intentional, sometimes it happens quietly out of exhaustion or confusion. But this distance only makes the burden feel heavier because the very source of peace is being neglected. In reality, these moments are often an invitation, not a rejection. Allah is not pushing you away, He is calling you closer. When something in your life feels overwhelming, it is a sign that you need more connection with your Creator, not less. The difficulty you are facing may be the very reason Allah wants you to turn to Him with sincerity, humility, and dependence. It is in these moments of vulnerability that DU, letter 2BF, Emakron, letter 2BE, becomes more genuine and the heart becomes more open. Instead of waiting to feel strong before turning back, approach Allah as you are. Speak to Him honestly about your fears, your confusion, and your pain. Even a short, sincere DU, letter 2BF, Amakron, letter 2BE can bring comfort that nothing else can provide. Try to hold on to your salah even if it feels difficult, because it is a direct link between you and Allah. Add small acts of remembrance throughout your day, quietly repeating words of praise that soften the heart. As you begin to reconnect, you will notice a gradual shift. The heaviness may not disappear immediately, but your ability to carry it will become stronger. You will feel supported, guided, and less alone. Because when you turn to Allah during your hardest moments, you are not just seeking relief, you are building a connection that brings lasting peace and strength into your life. One of the most difficult struggles for the human heart is dealing with delay. When you are waiting for relief, for an answer, for a change in your situation, it can feel exhausting. You make DU, letter 2BF, Imakron, letter 2BE, you try to stay patient, but when nothing seems to happen immediately, frustration begins to grow. You may start to question whether your efforts are being seen or whether your prayers are being answered at all. This feeling, if not managed with the right mindset, can slowly weaken your trust and make the burden feel even heavier. But in Islam, delay is never without purpose. Allah's timing is not based on our urgency, but on His perfect wisdom. Sometimes what you are asking for is not yet right for you, or perhaps you are being prepared for something greater than what you imagined. The period of waiting is not empty. It is a time where your patience is being strengthened, your reliance on Allah is deepening, and your character is being refined. These inner changes are often more valuable than the outcome you are waiting for. When you begin to see delay as part of your growth, your perspective starts to shift. Instead of feeling stuck, you begin to recognize that something meaningful is happening within you. Each day you remain patient, each moment you continue to trust Allah despite uncertainty, you are building a level of strength that will support you in the future. This kind of patience is not passive, it is active trust, a conscious choice to believe that Allah knows what you do not. Remind yourself that nothing meant for you will ever miss you, and nothing that misses you was ever meant to be yours. What you are waiting for will arrive at the right time, and when it does, you will understand why it had to be delayed. and how that waiting period shaped you into someone stronger and more grounded in faith. One of the greatest challenges we face is wanting a new life while holding on to the same mindset, habits, and environment that kept us where we are. We ask Allah for change, for ease, for a better future. But deep inside, we resist the very transformation required to reach that next level. This resistance often comes from comfort, fear of the unknown, or attachment to what feels familiar, even if it is no longer good for us. As a result, we feel stuck between where we are and where we want to be, carrying a heaviness that comes from this internal conflict. When Allah prepares you for a new chapter, He does not only change your circumstances, He begins by changing you. This may involve letting go of certain habits that no longer serve your growth, distancing yourself from influences that pull you away from your purpose, or developing discipline in areas where you once felt weak. These changes are not always easy, and they can feel uncomfortable at first. But this discomfort is a sign that you are being shaped into a stronger, more refined version of yourself. The key is to embrace this process instead of resisting it. Start with small, consistent steps that align with the person you want to become. It could be building a stronger connection with Allah through regular salah, adding daily dhikr, or being more mindful of your actions and intentions. It could also mean improving your character, your patience, and the way you respond to challenges. Each small change is a step toward your new life. As you continue, you will begin to notice that the heaviness you once felt starts to turn into strength and clarity. You will feel more in control, more focused, and more connected to your purpose. Because a new life is not just given, it is built, and Allah, in His mercy, is guiding you through every step of that transformation. I prefer this response, my dear brothers and sisters. If your life feels heavy right now, don't run from it. Reflect on it, embrace it, grow through it, because this phase might be the very path Allah is using to take you somewhere better. Remember, my beloved brothers and sisters, Allah does not burden you to destroy you. He burdens you to develop you. Trust Him, hold on to Him, and keep moving forward with hope. May Allah ease your burdens, strengthen your heart, and guide you into a life filled with peace, barakah, and closeness to Him. Ameen.